Okay, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. Our next guest, former DC homicide detective Rod Wheeler. And yesterday, Mr. Wheeler posted on Facebook. We have been following, I have difficulty with these names, Imran, Awan, IT for Deborah Wasserman Schultz, had access to her iPad password, DNC. The list goes on, but Mr. Wheeler said yesterday, for those following this story, watch closely and connect the dots. This arrest will expose major corruption here in D.C. Finally. Mr. Wheeler, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Good morning to you, Brian.
Okay, let's just go with that sentence. Start telling us what you meant yesterday when you put that out.
Well, here's the gist of it. The guy that was arrested 2 days ago, Awan, he's a major player here in the Washington, D.C. area when it comes to IT circles. So this guy is very well connected to a lot of your senior DNC leadership and people like that. So he has access. First of all, the guy had a top-level security clearance. So that means he had access to a lot of our government data, and especially data not only within the government, but data within organizations such as the DNC. And he's had this access now for quite a bit of time. Matter of fact, it's been questioned over and over and over by various people as to why this particular guy and his family members, mind you, Brian, his brothers, his wife, his mother-in-law, everybody had this access to this data. Why is it that these people had this kind of access to government information and, like I said, the DNC files, emails? Well, this guy and his family, it's been estimated, has made over or up to $5 million in the past several years from someone within the government or within the DNC. Now, why is this guy so critical with everything else that's going on in D.C.? I believe this particular guy is just a small fish in the pond. This is the guy, just so that your listeners understand, this is the guy that was running for the border 2 days ago. He had already wired hundreds of thousands of dollars out of our country to Pakistan, and he had purchased a ticket, and he was getting out of Dodge. Now, the FBI was able to intercept him at Dulles Airport and charge him quickly with bank fraud. Now, the reason they charged him with bank fraud so quickly is because they needed to have him charged with a felony in order to hold him here in the country. So by them doing that, they were able to hold him. So I know a lot of listeners may be saying, well, why is that the only thing they charged him with? Well, they really wasn't even ready, I don't think, to charge this guy with anything, because they're still working this case, but they had to hold him here, so they had to charge him with something. So that's what they used. And his passport obviously was revoked at that time as well.
Okay, so when we're connecting the dots, we're looking at this guy, Deborah Wasserman Schultz, for our viewers, a representative from Florida, at this time is the chair of the DNC, and she resigned, in my words, in disgrace. But Democrats don't usually do anything; they're not disgraced by anything. I'm sorry, I said it like that. But anyhow, she resigns after this DNC email, 60,000 emails or whatever, are leaked out with John Podesta, Donna Brazile. The list goes on. She steps down. And there's a confrontation with her and the DC police, or the Capitol Hill police, that we've watched that video. So where do you think these dots are going to connect to, and what's your opinion? Because I mean, I'm listening. I'm open to just hearing what you have here, because you're following this very close. So put some more of these dots together if you think you could share it at this time.
Right. Well, here's what I think. I think this guy, like I said, Brian, is a small fish in the pond. I think the investigators are really focused on other individuals that was colluding with this individual, with this guy, Awan. I also believe, and I don't know for a fact, I think he is our Russian hacker, by the way. I mean, look, you got everything.
Whoa, wait a minute. I'm not really, you're going to say that? I'm just being facetious. Yeah. So I was getting ready to ask you. Do you candidly believe the Russians hacked the DNC server, or do you think this guy is the conduit, the connection, the little fish in that pond?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I strongly believe this guy. Let me tell you why, though. I don't just believe that out of, just believing it. Here's why. There's evidence to support that. This guy and his family members and others that has not been identified yet, they were the ones that had access to everything that's been leaked up to this point for a long period of time. There's no reason not to think that this guy has something to do with it. And also, this is the same guy, like I said, that was trying to get out of Dodge before the authorities caught up with him. So absolutely, Brian, I believe this guy and others may have had something to do, if not themselves, were the ones that hacked into the DNC's emails. But there's one other thing I do want to mention. There's a few names that I am not going to mention. You know why? Because I believe the Capitol Police, which have done a tremendous job, and I've said this for a while now, because see, the Capitol Police, just so your viewers, your listeners understand, the Capitol Police Chief does not have to answer to the D.C. mayor, to the mayor of the District of Columbia.
Right, exactly.
Now, that's significant. That's significant now with a couple of other cases that's been going on in the city, murder cases, right? That a lot of people have been wondering how come these cases haven't been solved. For example, the case of Seth Rich, it hasn't been solved, hasn't been anything done to it. Well, the police chief in D.C. answers to the D.C. mayor. The police chief with the Capitol Police does not answer to the D.C. mayor, so they can go outside the scope and do whatever they want to do. That is very significant. So when you start connecting the dots, you want to start with this guy, Awan, his brothers, his family, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Donna Brazil, and everybody else. And I think if we sit back and hold on, you're going to see a lot of things start to shake here in the nation's capital over the next couple of weeks.
Well, I'm glad you cleared that up, because I do think a lot of the viewers out there, and not to say anything of their level of intelligence, but there is a Capitol Police Department, there is the D.C. Police Department, and the D.C. Police Department, they answer to the mayor. And just to be redundant, the Capitol Police Department do not have to answer to the mayor, is why this is actually moving forward, and there may be more revealed out of this than Seth Rich's murder or having that solved. Correct? Am I
exactly. Right? You're exactly right. And as you know, I'm still under that cease and desist order.
I know, and so that's why I haven't brought it up.
Right. And so I can't go into detail with that, but I will say this. Watch this case very closely, and I want to emphasize that for your listeners, because this case will spearhead, I think, will be the catalyst for a lot more heads that's going to be rolling, I think, in the next couple of weeks. Here's a couple of things real quickly I want your listeners to watch for. Watch for search warrants being executed at various places over the next week and a half. Search warrants. Then right after the search warrants, watch for arrest warrants. That's going to come following that up. Those are the kind of things you want to start watching for. This guy, Awan, is on a monitor, an ankle monitor. There's a reason for that. I don't want to go into a lot of details because it's a strategy that we use in law enforcement. But if you notice, they released him pretty quickly with an ankle monitor. There's a reason for that. So just watch these kinds of investigatory things, and you'll start being able to connect the dots yourself.
I know you have to go, and you only had about 7-8 minutes, you said, when we talked yesterday. Are you any closer to being able to release your report? And I'll just leave it like that.
No, I'm not. The family has not agreed at all to allow me to release my report, and I really wish I could, because if I could, you would see a lot of similarities as far as what's going on right now in the news with information that's in my report. So hopefully one day I will be able to, Brian.
Well, you gave us things to watch for, warrants, search warrants, arrests. You gave us a lot to work for, and I think you helped us connect some dots. I appreciate you very much. I'll text you, and as this goes on and things develop, I hope you can come back and continue to share what you know or what you can help us with.
It's always a pleasure talking to you, Brian.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
All right.
I appreciate it.
You too. All right.
Okay, that is former D.C. homicide detective Rod Wheeler with actual news, folks. That was news, okay? MSNBC, ABC, CBS, That should have been the lead story everywhere today. That was news, okay? So keep an eye open. I'm your host, BKP. I'm going to take a break. Let's keep the same segment because I'm going to wrap up with this, Sam, when we come back. But I actually need a real break right now. I'll be back after these messages. We'll look at Deborah Wasserman Schultz. Oh, she didn't resign in disgrace. Democrats never do. Take us a break, Sam.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
El Rey in Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine.
El Rey.
El Rey in Ellijay.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Folks, Awan is a connected guy. His attorney is a Clinton associate. They're all connected. These dots are connected. The DNC server, we know that they will not turn over the DNC server. You just heard former DC homicide detective Rod Wheeler say, this is your Russian leak. He said this is a small fish in a big pond. This is your Russian leak. You heard that yourself on this show. Okay? actual news. Now, I'm going to play a video that I want you to stay with me. This is Deborah Wasserman Schultz. Her nerves are shot. Watch the body language. It is 6 minutes long, but what I want to do is please stay with this story. Watch this video. Now, the Capitol Police, which Mr. Wheeler identified or explained to us, is not beholden to the D.C. mayor. So if you're wondering why they can't solve the Seth Rich crime, murder, that is different. But listen to this interview with Deborah Wasserman Schultz. Stay with it. Let's listen to this together, okay? And how it shoots her nerves to find out that this Capitol police officer will not give back the computer. Let's play this video, Sam.
What about diversity? There really has been a challenge that the Capitol Police has faced systemically with diversity. Diversity in your leadership, diversity in recruitment. How are you focusing in on improving that? And I mean, I don't mean any disrespect, but it is hard to take your word for it. As you said, you're in leadership now, you're not in the rank and file. So, Mr. Chairman, it might be helpful for us to have an open, an informal meeting with the Capitol Police union leadership so that we can hear from them. We don't have to do it in a hearing, but it would be, I think, good for members to hear from the union leadership. We have done that from time to time, and give them an opportunity without the Capitol Police leadership here to talk to us about some of their challenges. But
certainly, but
diversity has been a problem.
We have a great diversity officer, Natalie Holder, who comes to us from the private sector, and she's done a lot of work with municipalities, and particularly in New York City. We have what I think we do is we include people. I think we.
But do you have goals? Do you have goals to increase diversity?
Absolutely. We want to broaden everyone's perspective, and we want to be able to provide
numerical goals. Do you have a goal to say, take the leadership of the Capitol Police diversity from where it is now to a higher number?
We're always trying to build a bench with a very diverse workforce.
So no.
So yes.
So you don't have.
Well, I don't have
specific goals,
specific numbers, but I have. What I have is a policy of inclusion and being able to expand the bench.
Okay, but without a plan, I mean, does your diversity officer have a plan that she is following?
Sure, we
to
just started
increase
mentoring with outside agencies and internally. We also are providing opportunities for people. Of course, they're all validated promotional processes, and we look at all of the aspects of promotion that we should. And I think that we are very inclusive, and I think that if you look at the numbers in the promotions, it's a very diverse group, and we've given opportunities for women and minorities all along the line.
Through the history of my career, I've never really seen significant changes in diversity without a specific written plan on how to accomplish it. And so, are you planning on developing a specific written plan?
Yes, through our diversity office, we are.
Okay, if you could share that plan with me, and the process that you're going through to develop it, that would be great. And then lastly, I'd like to know how Capitol Police handle equipment that belongs to a member or a staffer that's been lost within the Capitol complex and found or recovered by one of your officers. What happens?
Sure. Well, it's processed on what's called a PD 81, which is a property record. And depending on the property, depending on how if you can legitimately determine ownership, then it's generally turned back over to the owner of the property. If it's part of an ongoing case, then there are other things that have to occur for that to happen.
So if a member says that they have equipment that's been lost and you find it, it would be returned to the member?
In the general sense, yes.
Okay.
You have to identify. You have to be able to positively identify the property and be able to establish ownership.
Right. And if ownership is established,
if it's part of an ongoing case, then there are additional things that need to be done.
But if the member owns the equipment and there is no ongoing case related to that member, then the equipment is supposed to be returned.
Right. In a general sense, yes.
No, I mean in a specific sense. If the member loses the equipment, says they lose the equipment,
Yes, ma'am.
and it is found by the Capitol Police, it is supposed to be returned.
If ownership has been established,
Right.
it'll be returned. If it's subject to an ongoing investigation, there are additional things
Okay.
that need to be turned
But
over.
not an ongoing investigation related to the member. If the equipment belongs to the member, it has been lost, they say it's been lost and it's been identified as that member's, then the Capitol Police is supposed to return it. Correct?
Well, it's not I can't give a yes or no answer on that because I know.
It's a simple
more
yes or no
parameters.
answer.
Well,
If you if a member loses the equipment,
Yes, ma'am.
and it is found by the Capitol Police or your staff, and it is identified as that member's equipment, and the member is not associated with any case, and that is their equipment, it is supposed to be returned, yes or no?
Depends on the circumstances. And if the circumstances are.
I don't understand how that's possible. Members' equipment is members' equipment. Under my understanding, the Capitol Police is not able to confiscate members' equipment when the member is not under investigation. It is their equipment, and it's supposed to be returned.
Well, I think there's extenuating circumstances in this case, and I think that, working through my counsel and, the necessary personnel, if that in fact is the case, and with the permission through the investigation, then we'll return the equipment. But until that's accomplished, I can't return the equipment.
I think you're violating the rules when you conduct your business that way, and should expect that there would be consequences. I yield back.
Gentlemen, thank you for your testimony today. Chief, Assistant Chief, we let you off easy. Chief, you answered all the tough questions, but we appreciate both of your leadership and service to our country.
There will be consequences. Now, I wanted to play that. I know it was 6 minutes long, but I wanted to connect. This is the chief of the Capitol Hill Police, okay? And Deborah Wasserman Schultz, nerves are shot. So you heard Detective Rod Wheeler tell us, okay, you heard him tell us, clear up, the Capitol Police is different. They're not beholden to the mayor like the D.C. Chief of Police is, where Seth Rich's murder is being investigated. So that's the separation there. Second, you see Deborah Wasserman Schultz. Now pay attention. The reason I played the entire 6 minutes of this interview with the chief, the Capitol Hill Chief of Police, is because the first half people don't play. And they do not play that part of the video. And she really pounds him on diversity plan. What is his diversity plan? So she's going somewhere with that. Then, right after that, how do you handle returning equipment? If a member lost their equipment, let's say someone in my office lost it, an ongoing case, equipment needs returned. It's supposed to be returned. I can't give you a yes or no on that. I mean, there could be an ongoing investigation. I don't understand. You're violating the rules. There will be consequences, Deborah Wasserman Schultz says. There will be consequences. You're violating the rules. See, the whole time she's asking this, she knows that they got a problem. They got a serious problem. The DNC, the Democrat National Committee, has a problem. So let me wrap up by telling you, the DNC will not allow the FBI, did not allow the FBI to look into the server. They just made their own claim that the Russians hacked it. They have their own investigation that states Russia. Russia happens to be the forefront of everything Trump, everything Russia on a daily basis, okay? And the DNC, what happens if we find out that the Russians, maybe this guy from Pakistan that had $300,000 wired, a bank fraud, was picked up at the airport, Dulles International, trying to get out of Dodge, okay? Rod Wheeler's expression, get out of Dodge, is now wearing an ankle bracelet, okay? So that is a small fish in a big pond, he said. Watch for warrants, watch for upcoming warrants and arrest, all right? Cheese Pizza Podesta. Remember John Podesta and Pizzagate? Well, you know, that's not our story this morning, and we're not going there. But that's the emails that the fake media made sure they got out in front of the lie. They told the lie to get out in front. Their lies out in front so Podesta could be protected, the DNC could be protected. And if you don't realize how corrupt on a daily basis you're dealing with, and if you don't realize why Donald Trump told Jeff Sessions, damn it, we're going to drain this swamp, why the hell are you not looking at the DNC? Why the hell are you not looking at Hillary Clinton? Why the hell are you not looking at 33,000 emails? Why the hell did Andrew McCabe get elevated to director of FBI? Why the hell? Why the hell? And trust me, the American people are asking that too. I'm your host, BKP, with real news this morning, bypassing the fake media and getting it straight to you. I'm your host, BKP. It is 9:50. Oh, you know what that means, Sam? Tomorrow, we're at Sycamore Crossing. So we're in Blue Ridge. And what else does that mean?
Head of the week.
Pet of the week. But we're going out to the Humane Society. Tomorrow, we're on a field trip. The show's going on a field trip. We're going to Pet of the Week. We're going out to the Humane Society of Blue Ridge, and we're going to check it out. So I'll be back tomorrow. Sam will be back tomorrow. We'll be Sycamore Crossing tomorrow. It'll be time for the All-Star panel tomorrow. Dr. Whaley will be there tomorrow. I will be there tomorrow. I said that twice. Let's get out of here. 8 a.m. tomorrow. Later, folks.